Welcome to our presentation of Judas.
Civil Court Case Management System created by Java Software Systems Java Development Team Jennifer Starling Project Manager, Document Editor, and Developer. Angela Reeves, System Architect and Lead Developer. Bonnie Ely, Database Designer, Software Analyst, and Developer. Amir Youssef, Quality Assurance Manager, Tester, and Developer.
The Java team members designed a prototype web-based application called Judas that stores court data.
This large quantity and variety of data relates to appointments, places, documents, and people. All of that information is collected through agents of the court. Then it's processed through the Judas system and it's restructured so users can access it in a useful manner.
Judas was for managing the details of court cases and assists in the daily organization of court tasks.
Many court maintenance systems are very costly and are difficult to customize from one clerk's office to the next. Judas is a system that has simple design that lowers cost and is able to meet the specific needs of clerks. Each court case has a set of characteristics that describe it, like its privacy level, title, and type of case.
One of the most important features of a case are the dockets. From case creation to closure, the docketing process is an activity that the system has been designed around.
The court calendar maintenance schedules cases to be seen before select judges.
And the correspondence feature is a secure way for court personnel to communicate about case numbers and for docket and calendar requests.
3 weeks into development, we were faced with the dilemma of either finding a new web host or switching to a language and development tool that were supported by FSU. We were previously starting our design using Java and Eclipse IDE.
Not only was PHP unknown to all of the group members, we also needed to choose a new IDE.
Over a few days, we listed the pros and cons of making a switch from Java, our first choice, to PHP. All group members voiced their views. Some were in favor of a change and were agreeable to either alternative.
Though we were changing to PHP, we did not need to change our design.
The structure of the Judas application code uses the model view controller design pattern. The model is represented by the Judas code that contains the business logic for the application. For each corresponding functional model, such as case, calendar, docket, and correspondence maintenance, we have created separate PHP classes for database access and value objects to hold the business data. The view is represented by the HTML UI screens that the user views in their browser. Each file has PHP scripts embedded in them to call the corresponding controller functionality. The controller layer is represented by the PHP controller classes. By keeping this separation of functionality, Judas is more easily maintained and allows for code reuse. Please enjoy the video demonstration of the Judas Civil Case Management System presented to you by Java Software Systems.
Modeling off the court system workflow, we're going to create a case. To access the Judas system, I'm logging in with the username and password. Based upon the user type or role associated with the login, I'll be directed to a home page. I'm logging in as a clerk. After logging in, the case maintenance option on the toolbar is available to administrators, clerks, and judges. By clicking the case maintenance, a JavaScript function allows the case maintenance form to be revealed, while the other maintenance forms remain hidden from view. The first view is a list of all the cases created in the database. This gives the user a view of the most recent cases. There's a scrolling bar on the side to continue to look at the list. Below is the Create Case form. The form choices are populated from the database. Should a change need to be made in the future, an administrator would need to change only the database to have the choices in the form displayed correctly. Having selected new case details and pre-texting a title for the case, there is another selection of the form called Related Party. All cases need at least one related party to be opened. The validation feature would be implemented on future releases. In addition, a section to add more related parties would be added. Upon clicking Submit, a successful message appears to the user that the case was created. You can scroll down and see that the newly created case details have been assigned a case number. To view all the information about the new case, you must go to the View Case screen. The View Case screen can be accessed through the Create Case form by clicking the case title, which is hypertext, or by going to the case search and entering a case number. This is the View Case screen. The Case Details form is populated with data from the case title selected from the previous screen. The case details are in a view-only format, and future releases would have an edit feature with drop-down selections available from the clerk homepage and the administrator homepage. The Related Party table lists named party members of the current case by name and their role. Judges are included in this list. Future implementation would have a hypertext link from the related party name to their contact information. I'm going to return back to my homepage where I can use an alternate method to view a case. The Case feature currently implements a search by case number only. Future implementation would expand this feature to include a search by judge, related party, and/or case title. This search directs the user back to the View Case screen with the data from the search populated in the table.
When ready to add dockets to a case, first you must log in as a clerk. A judge can view case dockets too, but only clerks can add or modify a docket. After clicking Login, you come to the clerk landing page. When you're ready to add the docket, you need to go to the docketing option in the menu on the toolbar. Then the docket maintenance page is displayed. The data table at the top displays all the docket entries in the Judas database. We display the docket date, the case, the docket code detail, and the description, which has more information than just the docket code detail. The date table is stored in descending order so that newly added dockets show up first in the table. Below the data table, we have the Add New Docket form. Enter all the required information, some of which have drop-downs. These drop-downs are automatically populated from the database. The database administrator can always add new docket codes, and the cases are displayed as new cases are added to the system. So you scroll through and find your docket code that matches the document that was submitted to the court. And we'll just select one here. It automatically populates with some description information. All we're going to do is click and add more info to be seen. And then you can also mark it as inactive if you didn't want this actually to show in the list. We're going to click on Add a Docket. And then it shows that the docket was successfully created. If we scroll down, we see that the new docket that we just added is very first on the list. Now, if we wanted to see all the dockets that are in the system for this one case, we click on the hyperlink and it takes us to the case view screen. If we scroll down, we're able to see that we currently have 3 dockets currently for this case. Also, if we were at our home screen and we wanted to see the dockets for a specific case, you would just go to Search, type in your case, and then click View Case, and the case will populate and show all the information for that specific case, just as we saw in the screen before. As more functionality is added, we'll have the due dates for these dockets also available to be seen.
I will now log in as a judge and add a court event to the case we have been following from case creation and the addition of a docket. To view the court calendar, click on the Court Calendar menu option at the top of the page. The Court Calendar Maintenance page is displayed. The data table at the top displays all of the scheduled court events currently in the Judas database. we display the court date and time, the judge presiding over the court event, the case title, the event type, court designator, and trial type. The data table is sorted in descending order so that newly scheduled court events show up first in the table. Below the data table, we have the Create New Calendar event form. Since I have logged in as a judge, the judge name is pre-filled into the Create New Calendar event form. This is because a judge is only allowed to add court events to their own calendar. Had I logged in as a clerk, you would be able to select the judge name from a drop-down list. So now let's go ahead and add a new calendar event to the case that we've been following. We select an event type, a designator, a trial type, a courthouse, a room number, the date of the court event, and the time. After entering all of the required fields, as I've just done, we can now click on the Schedule button. The form is submitted, and now we see the message that the new court calendar event was successfully scheduled. Now if we scroll up to the top of the court calendar table, we see the new court event that we just scheduled. We can also click on the case title link to view the case details screen. If we scroll down to the bottom, we now see all of the court events scheduled for this case, including the one we just created. Additional functionality that will be implemented in the future include the ability to update or delete a court calendar event. Also the ability to search for a calendar event by judge, location, or by date.
The view of correspondence maintenance for the clerk. Number 1. Log into Judas system as clerk by username AR01 and password first one. Number 2. After that, you will be in the clerk home page. Number 3. If you click on correspondence, the gray color link, it will take you to the correspondence maintenance for clerk, and it's under construction. The view of correspondence maintenance for the judge. Number 1. Log in to Judas system as a judge. Username BE01, password second 2. Number 2. After that, you will be in the judge home page. Number 3. If you click on the correspondence, the gray color link, it will take you to the correspondence maintenance for judge, and it's under construction. The view of correspondence maintenance for the attorney. Step number 1. Log into Judas system as attorney by username AY01 and password fourth 4. Step number 2. After that, you will see attorney small letter word on the screen, but you will not be able to see home screen for the attorney. Step number 3. There is no home page for the attorney, and therefore there is no correspondence maintenance for attorney.
Future development recommendations. Correspondence implementation, task list implementation, user screens for related parties named in a suit that are restricted to view only of cases that are associated with, more in-depth case search, increased validation of user input.
You have seen the demo for the case, docket, and calendar modules. Functionality of them are combined differently dependent on the user type. Once the modules are completed, many user types can be implemented. like the administrator role.
Ultimately, the case search will be used to assist in generating reports for administrators of the system by finding old open cases from a certain type of court.
Having 4 programmers all write their own modules means we each have to be proficient in all languages and markup languages that were used for the program. That redundancy in the learning curve was very noticeable in the 2-week sprints early on. That being said, we don't know if we would have learned as much as we did in any other course.